Hello and welcome back to the Fantasy Take TV podcast. We are going to go over round 19 this week. Just me and George for today. JD's feeling a bit ill, I believe. George, I think he's flying to Melbourne or something or other. So we hope he gets better. But how are you, mate? That's probably the biggest I've seen your beard, I think, in a while. Growing that out a bit.
It's pretty bad. I saw it in the mirror today, and I was just like, "This is getting a bit long. I should probably shave it off." But I know it grows too quick. Shame about the hair on top, but it's
To
getting
show
long.
you can do it. You can grow it somewhere.
Yeah, well, you can transplant from other parts of your body to your hair. It's actually true. So I think the beard's probably not the spot to do it, but. My hair gets too much airtime. I think we can move to something else.
You told me you didn't watch much footy. I'll be honest, I'm in the similar boat to you. I probably watched more than you, judging by what you told me. But I didn't even watch Friday night. I think you said you watched it, and Hobbs
No, I didn't.
didn't do
I
much.
checked the score, and I was like, "Oh, that's right."
That's me
Ruined
for the
my
week.
entire season trading Hobbs. Like I'm done.
Oh man,
it's just amazing how one trade can absolutely destroy you.
Yeah.
I
had a couple.
I think yours were like mid-season injuries, though.
Yeah, like obviously the Miller and Mills. But yeah, like others, like getting in Walsh, that's turned out to be bad. Like it was bad already for a while with a couple of 90s and a 70, I think. But he was turning a corner, and then now it's still bad. So
it just had to be this game when he was going to score 200. Like I wasn't. Yeah,
at least it was now. Like I've already really just not cared anymore. If it was maybe 6 weeks ago, I would have been more pissed. But I probably would have had to trade him. But I was just more annoyed for him. He looked like he was coming good, and Carlton are coming good. Obviously, it's West Coast, whatever. But he was just, I think he was like 11 touches, had 100%, 3 goal assists in the first quarter, and was killing it. And just go down with another hammy, or not another hammy, but he's got another injury. Bit unfortunate, but we'll get to those injuries in a sec. Do you want to talk about your score, mate? MVP, a fault?
No. Well, look, I scored 24, and so I didn't actually see it. I tried not to check scores for the whole week. I logged into Twitter, and you see like Sicily owners popping champagne, like, hey, Sicily's done something significant, and stuff like that. So you kind of have some idea. But I scored 24, 30 something. Really bad considering I had like a Jack Steele 160 as well, and then Keys and Himmelberg did something, and Keys' score was saved with 2 goals when the game was close. So for them to do something and steal 160, and for us to still have a horrific score, it's a little concerning. Then again, I fielded a MJ29, a Weddle 50 for Laird and Tom Green. Yeah, and then DC scoring 130. That was a bad trade. It was a rage trade, like, because I can't stand the guy as a pick. Like, he's not a bad player, but I think just because he's been burnt before, I just like, you know what, I don't want to own this guy. And he scored 130. So it's just a bad trade, but is what it is. MVP of the week. I have to give it to. I'm not going to give it to Steele, but I'm going to give it to Himmelberg for scoring something.
Me and JD tried to give you your MVP in fault last week, and we gave the fault to him again because I think you've been doing it every week. So is this just 109? You got to give him his props, or?
Well, this is what he should be doing. He has the easiest role in football at the moment.
Yeah,
it just walks whatever. Like when I was behind the goals watching him against the Crows last week, and basically he was playing on either Rankin or Rochelle. And he just like everyone was like manning up on their man pretty close. And Himmelberg was like hands on hips, 10, 15 meters apart, just like kind of guarding him, but also, reading the play, guarding space. So like it's very low, it's very easy role relative to other roles in the game. So, and they're giving him like all the kick-ins in the world. He's just been stuffing them up. So it's good to see something from him. So he can have the MVP. I'll probably give him MVP or fault every week, just depending on how he goes. I think fault of the week, I have to give it to, I hate to say it, Hobbs has just been awful. He's given me like a 50 and a 60. So that's how you ruin your season. Only takes one to, like, this is over Flanders. This is going to cost a lot. It's already cost about 130. There's still 5 weeks to go. So fixture gets better, but like with young players, I'd kind of worry. I don't know why I keep talking about Hobbs. It's irrelevant, but you don't know if he's young, he's slowing down, or just tough fixture. So he could have my fault, but I do like him. He's a good prospect. It's just not a smart trade. Anyway, how did you?
You can still get a couple of big ones out of him. The next, they've still got that nice schedule, and he might be an option next year. I mean, we'll talk about next year, when that time comes. But if he should keep the forward status. Shields been dealing with some injuries, right? So who knows what happened with him, but could be right for next year. Anyway, they'll want to give him. The time in there. He's got the capabilities.
Perkins. They're giving it to Perkins as the big-bodied mid, which is why I kept an English over Bont, because I thought Perkins was going to try and tag Bont, because like they've been putting Perkins on their biggest mid every week, or since he's been in the midfield for 2 or 3 weeks. So anyway, how'd you
go? Actually bounced back with a good score. Sicily obviously helped. Jack Steele, your man, can't complain.
Welcome to the club. I can't believe it either, to be honest.
Yeah, look, when I was not in his corner, maybe a month or 5 weeks ago, it was for good reason, and now trading him in was for good reason too. I actually did watch him play. Was it Melbourne? We scored 140, and he just looked a lot better. So plus, my price range. I didn't need to make the trade. I did the DC trade like you, but it was to avoid a donut that week because I had Sarong and Green and the lot, all out. Already had Windhager and Marriage. Well, we didn't know Marriage was coming in, but Marriage coming in saved me from 2 donuts, right? So I just traded DC to actually end up fielding 22 that week. I already thought I was copping one with Marriage not in, and then he comes in. So I just traded DC to Shea Bolton. Obviously, I think I would like Luke Jackson, but Shrek wasn't injured yet. So if that was a week, if that lined up, I'd probably go him. You keep the ruck cover, yada, yada. But I sort of could only afford a couple of 500k-ish plays, and Steele was 470, I think, and Shea was 520. So it sort of worked out that way. Could have got Cogs, but hey, who's going to do that? Game's not that fun. I want to get Shea. He's been all right, 105 and 86. Not that great on the weekend, but he was good late in the game. So Steele's the MVP. I mean, 2600 I scored. I didn't even say that, but it was 2630 or something. So look, got me back a few lost ranks over the last 2 weeks. Sis obviously huge as well, but yeah, got to give it to Steele, I think. Bringing in for 470 and getting an average of 130 for 2 weeks. Fault, it's tough. I actually have a pretty good outing from most players this week. There's some big scores, like 2900 was the weekly, George. So that's getting towards last round of 2021 areas when, what was it? It was almost 3K that week.
Yeah.
Errol, I mean, stiff to give it to Errol, but he's clearly the worst in my team. I didn't watch that game, but
he did get CBAs that game.
Yeah, weird. Very strange. Or you could give it to maybe a Shea who scored 86, but yeah, probably Errol. It's clear worst scorer on my team. And Windhager could have got the MVP too, but he's turned out to be the best of that lot. Was obviously looking like Sheldrick for a while. He's probably got saved by Sheldrick getting injured, but he himself has been good the last couple of weeks. Bit lucky, maybe he's playing halfback, but he's been good.
I think when I was watching him play, he needed to adjust to the level. He was just making some poor kicking decisions by foot, and clean that up now. So no, it looks good.
Yep, so that's me. And then JD, how did he go? I think he scored similar to me, sort of holding his rank at about 150th. So just a tick under 2600 he scored. MVP for him, he held DC, so maybe you could throw it his way with 130. Or Doc actually scored 156. So he did want to bring Doc in sort of post his bye, and he's been pretty decent, and then a big score this week. And I think Fantasy Freako tweeted today, George, I saw it pop up on my phone, that he's actually mid-only heading in, at this current stage for next year, which, obviously if that's the case, he's not an option. But yeah, scoring all right. It should get some more mid-time with some injuries we're going to talk up.
They had no bench. So, West Coast were catching up in the fourth quarter. I think it was 70 points still, but it was looking like a 120.
They won the second half, win. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they had no one on the bench, I think. So Doherty played inside.
Yep. JD's fault. Maybe Caleb Daniel, 82, hasn't been too great since getting him in. I haven't watched too much. I don't know what his current role is, but his scoring's lowered a bit. So
don't think Bevo even knows what his role is.
Doesn't know what anyone's role is in that team. But it looks like they make finals. Anyway, we'll get to some injuries now, some news. Obviously, Tuesday night we can see a few updates. Lairds a test. People have been trying to find out all sorts of ways whether he's playing or not this week. I think confident he plays.
Yeah.
Your season's sort of on the line. Probably got to win out from here if you want to make finals. Big game, the showdown. You're muted.
Yeah, I just button would work. I do that every podcast. What's his name? I think the season's done for Crows. Like, we've lost 3 in a row.
You never say
Essendon keep losing. A few other teams keep losing around us. Saints are like just hanging on for dear life. So
you could still make it, but
I'd rather not play finals at this point. I'd rather take the draft pick. We need top talent. I mean, if I tend to choose between like pick 6 and finals, I guess finals is probably better. I don't know.
You never know. You never know. So that's that, and then Brisbane's next. Ashcroft, hate to talk about it, hate to see it. Was having a superb year for first year player, like full-time midfielder, pretty much.
How's that dickhead on Twitter announcing that Owens is the rising star? It's like the Herald Sun journo. I don't know. It's the Sam something.
Oh,
he's
you
like
posted
Owens.
Honestly, any other year, if Sheasel and Ashcroft didn't exist, these super kids, Owens would be a shout, but he's obviously not. Like,
I thought it was bad taste with Ashcroft doing his ACL and saying that.
Is that what he did?
First of all, Sheasel's ahead. I just thought it was terrible, but
yeah, sucks because 12. Like,
do you think Sheasel wins from here?
I think I said it to you before. It just gives them an excuse, right, to go Sheasel now. With it, like it was going to be a hard vote to make either way.
Yeah,
I think. Like, I know, I probably have a similar opinion to you that it's harder to do what Ashley's done this year, but they are a good team at the same time. Yes, Sheasel down back. It's in a shit team. It's a bit easier to get Pill too, but he's still been phenomenal. Like, you can clearly see he's an elite talent.
Well, I think
it would have been hard before this injury to make your vote. I think it would have been tight, but I think now it just makes it easy, right? Sheasel gets an extra 4 weeks, 5 weeks here to get his 25 a week. And hey, I wouldn't. If you want to vote Ashcroft, I by all means, I say he still can. It shouldn't matter 5 games into the season. He still played 19 games. Like, it shouldn't matter. But
I think they both deserve it though.
It's just an award. First year player, It won't mean much. They've both been superb and will probably have superb careers. Hopefully Ashley can get back from this. McCluggage, probably George, if you play draft. He's probably on everyone's team, but if you've got him, he's been killing it recently with uptick in mid-time, so I guess he'll get even more now. It sucks. Would have got debut season in the finals and all that and misses out on that. But yeah.
Just on McCluggage, CBA's been in the 50s or 59, 36, 51, 47. So around like the 45 to 50% mark.
Yeah.
The past month. You'd think that goes up a notch.
Yeah.
Zorko's was 37% on the weekend. Sorry, no, that's Bailey. That's Zorko, sorry. Bailey did not play. I don't know I think they probably want to preserve Zorko, so maybe they give a bit of opportunity to Dev. Bailey as well.
Oh, yeah. Could bring him back. He's out of the team at the moment, right? Could even be wrong in saying that. Yeah. Carlton, there's a heap here. Hurts them. They've they've won 5 in a row by 50 points or something. So really turned their form around. But Chera's a test. Cripps is a test. They think he'll play, but not certain. Walshy, we spoke about in my team, 2 to 3. Hopefully it's 2 for my sake, but I'd play it carefully. Although they'll need to win games, but I think midfield's probably the least, the spot they can most lose a player from, right? That's where they've really got good cover. But Kennedy's out as well, 4 to 6, so he'd be like pushing finals if they made it. But George Hewitt is obviously the one that's benefited from this. He's sort of had his own issues this year. George, that's why he was down at, what was he at the lowest point? Like 250?
260, I think.
like a whole 350k less than
Yeah.
he was 600 start of this year. So, big score on the
He's a
weekend. Yeah,
good good bench option. I dare say I should have gone. I got 7 forwards. I think he would have been better than a Hobbs,
it's
to be
probably a bit
honest.
late for like if this happened 2 weeks ago, but it might have been nice 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I don't know.
I still
If
think
you've
it's fine if you want to like I've
if
got
you've got
MJ.
trades, hey, by all means.
Yeah.
But at this stage, no, I don't see a lot of us with many. So
Was it like 38% on 0 or something like that?
yeah, that's why I
30
say
something.
it's too late. But if it's not
Yeah.
too late for you, then hey, he'd be the one to bring in. Like if you had a MJ or something, George, and he looks like he's not going to be a good cover anymore, you could make that switch. But in all honesty, if you had 1 or 2, would you still just hold for an injury? They're happening. They're still happening.
If you're playing for overall, it's interesting. I think you'd hold the one trade because there's still 5 weeks to go.
If you had 2,
you just
go
never
down to
know.
1.
Like you look at Ashcroft, like has done no injuries, does his ACL. Like
Oh,
anything can happen. Look
absolutely.
at Butters. Butters is battling a little bit.
Yeah.
You just don't know. Like Dunkley, no soft tissue. Like how many no soft tissue star mids this year have just done calves and hamstrings? It's like it's a weird one. So you just never know. And even like Marshall almost missed this week. Like did a fitness test before the game. I have
I
no
like
idea
0
what's wrong
trades.
there.
I've never really gone to 0 trades this early. I don't think I've done it this. Like I've probably done it 2 or 3 weeks to go, but there's still 5 rounds to go, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind it. Pressure off. My team shit anyway. I don't care. Whatever happens. Like I've got Phil Windhager for probably the rest of this. He'll be on my field for every round for the rest of the season. I can see it.
Not the worst one to have there.
Like,
yeah, at least you don't have you don't even have to look at your team. You do your captains, and you're like, well, there's nothing I can do here.
We got Ridley 4 to 6. That'll hurt a lot of people as well. Thought he was out last week. Gets up, then scores well, and then it's the same thing with Walshy almost kind of. But
you think he won't come back because they got the pre-finals bye if they make it, which they're not on target to at the moment.
Yeah, I think it'd be like
trade if you can.
If he was to play again this year, it'd be a final. So that's probably it. Shrek season hurts to say. The man's just prone to it. As much as I love to try and say, he's been unlucky. I didn't see how this one happened, to be honest, but
it's an ankle, I think.
And they're going in for surgery, call of the year, which is probably smart. The year's done. Anyway, they're in the bottom 4. That's they are in the bottom 4, and you could argue
have their first round pick.
You could argue they'd lose to Hawthorn if they'd played them, this week.
Yeah,
you'd probably tip Hawthorn. Like that's how poor they're going. So, yeah, makes sense to put him on ice.
On Shrek, next year, who's R1, R2 in your opening team? It's January. Supercoach opened. Who are you picking as your R1, R2? I'm sure you've thought about it, not, but who is it?
Well, I can't do what I'm trying to do this 10 weeks again, and let's go without the long pinhead in blue. Like, how could you not pick him? He's an absolute joke. R2 is an interesting one, though. That's like Shrek fit and healthy will be hard for me to say no to, but obviously what we've just spoken about has happened nearly every year of his career. Not always season ending, but he does miss games, so that's a concern. Who's next? Like Gorn's aging. We still can see what he can do as a solo ruck, but we'll have to see what happens there with Grundy.
Yeah.
And would you pick him at 33 next year? That's another thing.
If he's solo, I'd consider it.
He's still a ridiculously good player.
Look at Goldie, though. Like, you just think, like, Gorn probably will just manage himself a bit throughout the year, but I'd probably go Shrek at this stage, even with the injuries.
Rowan's obviously there again.
I wouldn't pay full price for Rowan.
Makes sense. Witts is getting on to Jackson if he's a forward, which he might not be now, right? Plays his 5 weeks full-time ruck. I'm not sure what the split is. He might lose it.
Yeah.
But
I think he'll get it. He's done enough.
If he keeps forward, then you'd pick him in the forward line. Obviously, I'm saying if Shrek leaves or whatever happens there. Yeah, interesting one. But I think English is just so far and away clearly number one. Whatever injury concerns you've had with him, he hasn't had any this year to this point. So it'd be him. And then, R2's interesting. Tom Green, you've still got him. 1 week, so
should not have held like with bad cover. He hits like points down the drain every week. But so
yeah, still 1 week away, and then Clary's another one, 2 to 3 still. What the hell that story's been this year?
That's
I wonder
been
if we'll ever
strange.
find out. That might end up in a book one day.
Yeah.
Like autobiography or biography, whatever the hell went on there. But yeah, he's still 2 or 3. And then I put Shorty's a test down. There's obviously a lot of others, but he might affect like a Banks if someone's got him as a cover because he's been quite good off half back. But I think Shorty will still miss one more. He had an interview on Triple M on the weekend and sounded like he's still one more away from that. So any other news that I missed, George? I haven't kept up too hot with it this week, but
don't know, to be honest. I was speaking before, but not really Supercoach related, but Barras is going to Sydney, apparently, just about locked in, according to Sam Edmund. Hawthorn are trying to get a key defender. Actively looking for a key defender in trade period to free up Sicily. Those were the words on SEN this morning. I'll probably start Sicily next year. He's going to be expensive, but like he's actually priced not too bad last week, but now he's just shot back up again. So he's like creeping up the 600s now. But I consider it for next year if they properly free him up for the whole year. Like first half of this year was a bit of a mess, but
exactly that could have been so different, and it could have been a big, because I can't remember his exact ownership, but it wasn't high. His price was huge, obviously off the back of last year being massive, and it could have gone bigger this year. Honestly, could have gone 120 range with that. Everything's got to go right. Obviously, he's got suspended. He's got roles been here and there, depending on others. Not his fault, but yeah, if they get that to other key back, and then maybe like a Blanks actually in the twos as an option if something happens, right? Not just him have to always go play second key tall whenever there's an injury. That'd be good, but yeah. All right, we're going to, I think, look at a few of the top teams. We've been to do that over the last few weeks. As I've been off, JD's been off, and we've got much to talk about this week. We'll do that in a sec. I think we've always got to talk about people like, well, I don't have a trade, but who have Walsh, who have Ridley George, and have to be traded. Who are they going to? So Ashley's the most traded out player. I guess a lot of people still had him, surprisingly, but he's been pretty decent to hold all this way. But he had a 110, a 140, another 100.
He's 510k.
He's had a really good patch up until this week's injury, so it's pretty unfortunate. So yeah, I mean, we can probably loop him in with Walsh because he's only 25k more. But in the midfield, we'll go first, and then we'll go back to Ridley. I think me and JD did it last week. We'll go under Walsh's price first because some people may have nothing in the bank, blah blah blah, and then we'll talk about a bit above. So below Walsh's price, who stands out the most? I sort of set it to 540, and Butters is there. Josh Kelly's the next there. He's only 500.
Just looking at his CBAs, they are back up because he played wing for a few weeks. Last 2 weeks been 62%, 77 since no Tom Green. He might get pushed back out though. Like they're genuine finals. Finn Callahan CBAs have gone up. I think do you care that much about Jubilee with 5 weeks to go? Probably not. Unless it's like a go sort of player. So I think Kelly's a
fixture, aren't you? Like just play that, see if you can cop a few big ones. I don't know what theirs is like.
So Tukes 500k. I
didn't like what I saw. That's one of the games I did pay attention to. That Giants.
What did you see?
One, Giants Gold Coast one. Oh, first half it looked all right. I should check the quarter because you can on the AFL app see quarter by quarter CBAs. First half looked fine to me. He's in not full time, but I would have had to have guessed 50-60%. Second half, I only ever saw him in the forward line on screen. Like I'm sure he played some mid time still in the second half, but it seemed like it was a lot more forward in the second half, and maybe that's because they were losing. Sort of game was over, and they just wanted to preserve him still because he's obviously coming back from a long layoff. But first quarter he had the most in his team, 7. Not sure how many there was total. 3 in the second, and then 1 in the third quarter, and 1 in the 4th. So there you go. He only got 2 attendances in the second half. And there's a lot of goals kicked, I think. So, yeah, that would worry me. I wouldn't go there, George. I'll be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, obviously, like match fitness wouldn't be as strong as it should be with a 4-month injury.
And now they're probably not making finals. Just get him through the end of the season and make sure he's all right. I think would be what they do. I mean, funny enough, George, would you get Flanders there, mate?
Well, that's the guy. That's the answer. I think. I know I've had like endless tears about this pick, but watching him even in preseason,
why we wanted to go start of the year for him.
Well, he was getting 30 touches in preseason at half forward with like no CBAs, and for 250k, that looked okay. And then I don't know what happened.
He was 210k
because I think CBAs now like. Also, like earlier, I think he played a fair bit of wing, and wing's horrible because you're away from the ball at times, like when there's a contest. So I think like his ability to find the pill, uncontested and contested, when he came back into the midfield, back into the team, I think it was off the back of like a 170 in the VFL.
Yep.
Just his ability. Oh no, his contested possession runs were like 12, 13, 14, like every single week. And I think there were 12 or 11 on the weekend, about similar to Rao. 10 plus contested every week. So I think the scoring will hold. And it would not surprise me if he outscores the whole lot of them at Gold Coast to the back end of the year.
Yep.
So
he had the most scores outside of Wits. Like
I didn't see the game, but I've seen him in previous weeks, and watching him rack it up. Even like one quarter he played, I think it was not this week, but the week before, he played like just half forward in the first quarter, and he still had 10 possessions. Started the first 6 minutes on the bench. He's just a magnet. He just knows how to bob up and find the pill and get in the right spots. So I think you're going to get 105 plus here, especially with the CBAs now.
It was his first quarter this week too, George. He was on 45, I think. He had like 7 contested, 6 clearance or something. It was kind of like Dacos's start to the Dogs game, was it, a couple of weeks ago? Like it felt like every ball up, he got the clearance the first 10 minutes of the game. Like he was very dominant early. So yeah, I don't know. Like looking under 530, who else is there?
Well, I don't mind. Just quickly on Flanders, this is very much Josh Dunkley from 2017, I think. Yep. End of the year, this guy just randomly pops up in the midfield and starts going 110. And then we started him the year after, and he played forward. And then about 5 rounds in, he went into the midfield and did 125 for the rest of the year. So,
what is 80 average this year? So that's what for.
I'll pick him than me. Line.
Yeah, like he could be. I
think he'll end up like just under 500 if he keeps this rate up.
Yeah, true. He'll probably push his average up more.
I'd have Flanders as at 1, but Angus Brayshaw's playing some good football at the moment in a bit more midfield time too.
Yeah.
He was very good. I would give him 3 votes on the weekend against the Crows. So thought he was very good. I got him in like another format when they said Oliver was 3 to 4, and Oliver's been 3 to 4 since. But yeah, just looking at the CBAs for Angus Brayshaw, averaging, eye test on the numbers, about 65 over the past 6 weeks. So he's back into the midfield with no Oliver. Yeah. I think he's not as good as Flanders. I think he's your next best if you have Flanders already. So he's one you could look at for sure. I like him. And then you got Cogs there too. And I don't think you can go too wrong with Cogs. He finished last year very strongly. I think he did need a rest 1 week, but other than that, he's been very good. So
yeah,
I'd go Flanders 1, Cogs 2, Brayshaw 3 as replacements, all DBP. But
would you entertain Butters, or do you not like the Cloud?
I don't like the Cloud. Same with Cripps coming back from injury. That's I'll happily pass on that. But yeah, I don't like the injury Cloud. He might be fine, but you're kind of guessing, whereas you don't have to guess with other players. So I'd go that route personally.
Flanders, Kelly, Cogs. Is that what you said?
I had Brayshaw, Angus.
Brayshaw.
I forgot about Kelly, just because I'm.
We know the risk. Yeah.
Well, I think Kelly might play wing when Green comes back. True. So for that reason, I'd probably sit out. But we know that he can as good as anyone when he's inside.
Yep, as funny as it is, I think it's Flanders, and the DPP might come in handy to cover at some point. But yeah, I just think scoring wise, generally, he under 530, he looks the best.
As a smoky in the forward line, Nick Martin's about to play Northwest Coast and Sydney at home.
Yep.
It's not the worst option, but I do prefer the more consistent role.
A little bit above, so these like 20, 30K, you could grab Steele, you could grab Doherty, actually, he's 560.
Nah, don't go Doc. I think he's playing wing, but because of injuries, and they played West Coast, and that game was embarrassment. It's like the most embarrassing first quarter I've ever seen. So
yeah, Pies might be hard this week. Definitely.
I wouldn't pay 560 for Doc.
You'd go Steele.
Yeah.
So it's probably comfortably Steele here. So Wrong's maybe a little bit more, 568, but I think I'd probably still go Steele, maybe. Like,
what about 580 for LDU? I'd go Steele over them, but what do you think of LDU? He could.
Yeah, I mean, he was when I got Steele 2 weeks ago. LDU was maybe 499, so it was or maybe a little bit more at that stage. But yeah, that was the two I was really looking at. He's cooking LDU. He's good to watch. I think both probably up there options wise. Like I'd probably have them top 2 if you had. You probably need 50K or so to get up from Walsh, but LDU probably plays a bit more of a fun to watch style, but at times can, especially playing for North, it can go wrong. Whereas Steele just sort of just ticks along as he's always when he's in form. It's just you don't really notice. You notice him, but he does so many things that you're not too concerned about him. I was always just concerned about his body, but he's doing really well. So what's the fixtures like? I know North fixtures don't really probably move you because it doesn't matter who they got, but Saints do have 4 in a row at Marvel here. I do, with owning Naz, and I mean I've got all these Saints faults. George, looking at my team, obviously Steele, Rowan, Naz, Winnager, and
there's like 6 players.
And they all did well. And mind you, they almost lost the game, but maybe that run pushes you towards Steele. I think both are good though. LDU looks.
If you're a Parish man, he's got the West Coast North back to back in the next month.
Yep.
I just never will pick Parish, but there's no reason why he can't score really, really well the next 2 weeks.
Yep. And then probably not worth talking about the 600K pluses. There's probably only a select few people holding like 100K in the bank and probably own most of them anyway. But I mean, Libba, maybe if you didn't have him, 605, just keep it on this year, Libba. So,
yep.
He'd probably the one. Backline, if you had Ridley, George will quickly run over who you would think or who you would want to go there. He's 513. So again, we'll go around that price. Look at maybe 520 and under.
Might be Will Day or Sheasel. Yeah.
You traded Sheasel out. You'd probably look at getting him back in. Zeebel's being sub and managed and playing forward. Aaron Hall's
Gus Brayshaw, I'd probably go.
The twos. Yeah, Gus is there. Probably
I'd go Gus, yeah.
Probably one of those two. Lockie Whitfield, tickle your fancy? Looking at his 3-round average.
No, I don't like Lockie. I'd go Angus here.
Yeah, Angus. Look, Clary's 3 weeks away, so maybe the last 2 weeks, Angus's mid-time drops off, but he can still score somewhat down back. He won't completely drop off, can still go 90.
He's playing forward too.
So maybe it stays. Open for him. Yep, could be right. All right, we won't go too much there. Defenders, not a hell of a lot, and they're not really too exciting. So, yeah, Brayshaw or Sheasel or something like that. Naz is still there if you would like the Marvel run. Depends what.
I'd probably take Nas or Gus. Take your pick.
Yep.
Whoever you like more.
Cool. All right. Do we want to just maybe take a look at the top few teams, George? See if we can put our money on who we think's going to take it home. 5 weeks to go. Be getting nervous. I don't think either of us will ever be in this position, mate. But you would be pretty nervous if you were, because every move matters, obviously.
One trade's massive.
Yeah, exactly. They might only have a trade or 2 left. Haven't really kept tabs on it, but I think we'll just put us on the side here.
Worth noting for those listening to audio, we got to have a graphic on YouTube, but just showing the teams on the rankings at the moment.
So I think Gaza he did have an interview on the Supercoach podcast, and he's actually in our Discord, right, George? Or he's in group. He chats there sometimes. He's been first for what's it now? Maybe like 2 weeks. So he's just recently got there. Put another big score up this week, so sort of increased his gap. So he's now 150 ahead, and very strong team. Sort of just Danaher, but it's worked. He put 90 there for him, basically
This is
covering for
23rd.
Laird.
Yeah.
So it's worked. He's held DC here, so he got a good score there, and it's Houston and Ryan, isn't it? Really, that's what's the last 3 weeks given him that, or overtaken him to number one, and he's looks probably the red hot favorite here. So, do you know how many trades? Does he have a trade left, or
I'm not sure.
Doesn't need to do anything.
I think it's just Sicily's a problem. That's about it. But otherwise, like, he's pretty good. Maybe 2 injuries. He's like 24th. I mean, if that even is required, but non-existent 24th. But no, looks really, really strong team.
Yeah, mate. Like you could say, cover like defense cover is O'Sheen Mullen. Doesn't really have he has Shee, so he does have a way of getting him down there.
And having no Butters is probably a good thing at the moment.
Yeah. Yep.
What a 600k trade in.
Me and you both. Well, second doesn't have Sicily either. 50 Shades, so that won't help him. Maybe you could look at doing that, but I'm not sure what kind of trades he has either. If you could get a Will Day to him, it's going to cost a lot. So
he's got Briggs, I think.
Got Briggs. Got Noah Anderson. I always thought a poor score can come from Noah at any time. Where's he catching up? Right, like differences are.
I'd probably force Sicily in if he had the trades, but I'm guessing he already would have done
Houston
that.
Day, Houston wins out in current form.
You have to bet against English, like hope something goes wrong, which you don't want, but that's like if you're trying to win money.
Sort of, what is it, Brayshaw, versus Henderson, like Brayshaw's going to win that.
Anderson's a bit of a worry. His CBAs are gone a little bit down.
Yeah. He has Butters who needs to improve for him to. Yeah, it's going to be hard with those two pods to make up ground. Who knows? Captain, like you'd be nervous setting your captain every week, George, knowing how much that'll mean. You cop an early injury or something, and it could just really kill you. So that's kind of what's got to happen, really, for him to catch up. Third, does he have any say of catching up? At least has English, but no Sicily here either. So got Doc. I guess that's nice if you can continue it. We're looking hard for anyone to catch first, isn't it, at this point?
I'm not sure how. He's got a good lead. I don't know where the points are. I think like if these people can get Sicily, especially this
basically
week.
It. Yeah.
But that's like 2 trades. I don't know. I doubt these people have it.
So it's going to be tough. And then these are all sort of grouped in together. So maybe fourth is the guy. Cash Scratch Fever. That's hard to say. He VC'd him too. There you go. So he's done it this week.
Nice.
I'll dare say he'll do it again.
Yeah.
He actually looped. That's remarkable. Dale with Atkins. That makes me a bit angry. How's Atkins scoring 99 now? The bastard.
New coaches figured out that Atkins has got one position.
Defender. Yeah. That's quite funny. Fogarty's cover is interesting, but he's been all right. So is Cunningham, actually, too. They both came in the same week, I think, and they've been pretty good, probably part of the form.
Fielding MJ is brutal when you're this high rank.
Yeah. Obviously, the VC helped, but he didn't go huge. Yeah,
he's got Anderson, Butters, and Sicily. Need to go big for him, and Atkins, I guess.
Yeah, Dale with as I said, I didn't take too much attention, but what the role's looking like this current point in time, I think you got to watch every quarter to figure out what's going on there. But he's probably the best chance. Has Sicily, fifth doesn't. So yeah, just quickly looking through. What would you peg Gaza at if you had to make a market? Because he's looking pretty.
I'd probably say like $1.10.
It's pretty short, but it's probably around that $1.20, $1.30. Seventh has Sicily as well. So any other, Mills, Anderson as well. A lot of them have Anderson. So Shea as well. That's
Shea can go massive.
He can go nuclear. He'll have to do it probably twice, a couple of 150s to help.
And he's got 5, so he must have no trades or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Gazza's looking pretty good, I would say. From here,
we had an agreement. If anyone ever won in the Discord, they have to take us to Sale, Croatia.
I think
made that rule
Sale
3
Turkey,
years ago.
maybe.
That works too. I'm happy with that. Start booking or packing your suitcases, holidays. Boys. We're going to Croatia.
Gazza's looking good. So, actually, Jaws, we did speak about. I don't know if you watched it last week. Some Mickey Mouse moments. Me and JD, he had a whole list of them. Yeah, that man's like an encyclopedia. Did you have any that you just wanted to get off your chest this year, whether it happened to you or other people benefited from? We all like complaining sometimes.
Yeah, I think I played. I didn't have the best luck, but I think I played bad too. So that's why I'm ranked 2K at the moment. Probably going to fall a bit more, but yeah.
I think we said to you straight up round 1, 50 captain.
Captain led tilted. I've never been tilted that much before because I'm like, everyone's like, don't pay 700k for your mids. I'm like,
you're like, I'll show you why. Stick the C on him.
Just you know what? I'll just captain him. And the guy, and he did it again later in the year. Gave me an 80 as well.
And I captained him.
That sent me like, because when you're like, it's a lot of hype into the season. I've been doing videos since like December, maybe even November, and all that just as like 50 captain on later. Well, I think Gazza captained the guy number 1. He captained late round 1 too. So
there you go.
It could have been further ahead, but that sent me pretty bad. I think DC trading him in twice pissed me off a lot.
Yeah.
I think the role was there. He should be better, but like a few body issues here and there, and that sent me pretty bad. Especially because he scored 130 this week after giving me 4 scores and 2 trades of 80. I think that's probably it. My luck's probably been not as bad as others. I think I know Pizza Safety in our Discord. He had like everyone he got injured the past 5 weeks. He got in Lloyd. He got in Butters. He got in Sarong. Like he got in Walsh. Like every week he gets someone. Like it's much worse for him. So
probably the first time he's copped that. So
yeah.
Welcome to the crew, but that shit happens.
I'm looking forward to next year pretty bad, to be honest.
Yeah, we always get like this, don't we?
Yeah.
When's the FPL collab coming, mate?
If you're doing my research, watch out. The goal is to get to game week 10 this year.
Yeah.
Quitting.
Look, that I will guarantee there won't be as much bullshit as there's been in, because it is different with fixtures moving and the Queen died last year, like, all that sort of shit. Like,
yeah,
the World Cup was last year too. This should be a normal season. Although saying that, 2 of the promoted teams, and Luton's hasn't got their ground ready for their first home game in week 2, and it's been called off. So, I'm not sure if you've seen it actually. I think it's it's a really tiny. Like people will correct me in the comments, but it's only like maybe 10 or 12,000, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
10,000. So like you can't even only like a few hundred away fans can get in. Like,
oh geez,
very different soccer over there.
Taylor Swift won't be touring there.
I still don't know how she's as popular. I didn't know. I knew she was big, but I didn't realize how crazy people go over one girl. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
We'll finish off with captains.
Movie. People kept asking me today, have you seen the Barbie movie? Like, I don't know if it's any good or not, but no, I haven't.
Yeah, we're not really informed about it, but yeah, you tell me, have you seen the Barbie movie? Like, what's going to get me to watch that? Like, seriously. People will probably have a go at us in the comments about that as well. We'll finish off with captain's shorts. That's probably the big thing.
Yeah.
Week to week. I think someone else posted it in the Discord today. I mean, Stuart into Sicily is what I'm looking at. Stu last year, I remember you blowing up about it, 180 against Freo when he just literally...
Probably did, yeah.
I think they kicked it to him 45 times in a row. And and like they've been terrible, right? So down at GMHBA, I think VC on him seems nice, and then C on Sicily. So a couple of loose intercepting defenders is probably what I'll go. Don't know how popular it'll be, but that's probably what I'm doing.
I think I'll go Dacos VC against Carlton.
You get a Friday night Dacos, you probably should, but I think it'll be somewhat popular, so I'm probably going to steer away from it. Yeah, but it makes total sense. Kids freak.
I don't know how you pass on. Sicily plays later. I think the line for you is what, like 140 that you take? I don't know.
Yeah, for Stewart. Currently, English is still the most VC'd. 37, Bont 24, Dacos 21, Stewart 6. So in that order. And Sicily down at 3.
I think Merritt will bounce back. I've got Dacos into Merritt this week.
Yep. It's quite a few good ones. I would say this. All of those, obviously English and Bont always.
Yeah.
Giants, I think Bont's got a good history there. English, obviously red hot form. Dacos Friday night, if you want to go. You don't. Well, Pies haven't, for whatever reason, been on too many early games this year, and I think when they released the back end fixture, now they are pretty early. So, you have a chance to go Dacos, you probably should consider it. And then, as I said, Stewart and Sicily is probably what I'm doing. So, yeah, plenty of options. Find a combination you like. I'll probably say, yeah, Stewart Sicily's my 1 and 2. Just based off the ceiling wise, I think I know I'm going to get a 120, 130 from Nick. I know I'll probably get that from a Bont and English, right? But especially for someone like me who's 1.5k, I'll need to try and hit a 170, 180, which I missed last week. So I'll go the guys with big ceilings. So whatever your strategy, go for your life.
Yeah,
Who's Merritt? Sydney, yeah, could go big too. Yeah.
Maybe Hewitt tags Dacos. Maybe I'll just go Stewart VC. Yeah, I'll do that.
And then into Merritt still. Yeah.
I don't know. I think Merritt's had 2 down 1, so I think he's due for a good one at home against Sydney.
Yeah, that's somewhat saved me a bit because he was killing me. He's already killed me. Damage has been done, but
so you got Sicily now. Enjoy.
Yeah. Yep. Like to see on him. See what happens. Anything else, mate? Finish off. We'll
Nope. Don't think so.
See JD back next week. We'll I think you said we won't go through what we've learned. Maybe come with a few pointers there. What we can learn going to next season. Might pull out a quiz. I don't know. Back into the year, not much going on now. We'll
I think the learnings will be good.
We'll still show up. Maybe leave a comment if you want. If you've got an idea, you want something to be spoken about. If you've got a lesson you've learned, we might bring it up on the pod next week and discuss. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. As always, good luck this week. Hopefully now you're captain, and we'll see you for the end of round 20. Cheers.
Ciao.